Hey everybody, so a little while back I did a live stream and I asked you guys what you would want me to include in a lesson series, and overwhelmingly the top thing was a range building course. And so I'm working on a giant lesson series with all sorts of courses, but the first one that I've been working on is all about range building, and so I'll show you how it's gonna work. I was planning on keeping the secret from you and then dropping the whole thing today. I'm still putting the final touches on it and finishing up some things. I don't want to rush through it, so it should be out this week. If you want to be notified when that is, when it's available, you can. There's a bunch of links in the description, any one of which will get you that notification. You can hit the bell on YouTube, and I'll post something there. You can sign up for my newsletter, and I'll send an email, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any of those. I'll post stuff about it. So if you want to be notified when that actually comes out, just click that. Anything else? I'm heading out to Seattle and Miami, so if you are in those areas, go ahead and find me on Bands in Town, and I'll post stuff about that as well when that comes out. And the composition competition is coming to a close at the end of this month, so get those submissions in. Those are all the updates for that. Now, the range series. I set out to create basically practice tools. This is less about telling you what you have to do with your face to play really high and micromanaging that. The idea of this series is saying you have notes that you can play, and you can play well and they're comfortable, and if you start there, we can expand that out. And that's the idea with this whole thing. So I'm really proud of it, and I wrote and recorded over 50 new things. Well, it's 14 new pieces, but 3 of them are in all 12 keys. And I recorded all of these recordings that you can now practice with, and then wrote parts as you expand your range up and down that allow you to play just a few notes, or sometimes just one new note, and work on just that one addition with other notes that you've obviously already learned how to play. So it's just expanding out, again, up and down, little by little, incrementally, while actually getting to play some fun music, hopefully fun music, as you go. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna play a chromatic scale and whole notes because you have to in order to work on this stuff, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring. And that was the whole concept. So the way I've broken this up is into 15 levels, although I guess technically since it's range building you could go beyond that. But the first 15 are the basic 15 levels, and I've broken that into 3 groups of 5. The first 5 levels are like the beginner's course, but it takes you all the way through E in 7th position, or trigger 2, up to F, above the bass clef staff, and so that's a really, pretty broad range for a beginner, and it'll take you all the way through there. The next 5 levels are like the intermediate, which would be F sharp above the staff all the way up to D above the staff, and on the low end we have pedal B flat down to pedal G flat, as well as low E flat down to low C. So again, huge broad range there, and we just go incrementally adding 1 or 2 notes each time. And then the final advanced levels would be 11 through 15, and that takes you from E flat way up there all the way up to super G that we don't really need. And on the low end it tackles all of our pedal notes that you can play on a trigger single valve tenor trombone. So the way it will work is it's hosted on a website called Teachable, and each course you'll be able to buy them outright, but that's not really what this is meant to be. It'll be $20 a month for all of the courses that I end up coming out with. So when I post new content and post new stuff, you get access to all of that for that subscription model. Or you can buy them outright, but they'll be expensive, and there's no real point to do that, especially when I have all sorts of courses. The point is for you to have access to everything and not have to keep buying new stuff as I go. as long as you're subscribed for that. And there's also a discount for Patreon donors, I think, and discounts if you buy for like a year. I'll give a pretty sizable discount because I don't want people going broke over this. I want you guys to be playing this and have access to it. So, and the other thing that's kind of cool is I'll have access to all of that. Like it doesn't cost me anything to give it away, so I can do giveaways and stuff all the time. So super excited about that. So if you decide to do this, this is, like I said, more like practice tools more than I'm teaching, like I'm not teaching you how to play high, I'm just showing you how to practice it, and then it's up to you to practice it. So these are things that you can add into your daily routine. When people asked me about range, I would always say like, you have to just play these notes every day. And people don't have these notes in their music in band class, and so it's like, well, what do I do? And so this is music that has these notes in it, and you can play it every day. Just add it to your practice routine, add it to your warm-up if you want to. Not too hard in a warm-up, but these are going to get you playing these notes and hopefully having fun doing it and not feeling like you're just playing long tones. Right, okay, so I'm going to play a few of these recordings for you. This is a piece called Higher and Higher, and the concept for this is that chromatic scale, just a major third, so it goes up chromatically, major third, and back down, up and down, in whole notes. And like, it's a really boring thing to play normally, so the idea was to write all this like functional harmony around that chromatic scale and write a melody that sounds normal-ish and singable around that. So it's just kind of fun, and it's a rock beat, and this is what it sounds like. So that is F sharp up to B flat, and if you're working on those, 5 notes, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, back down, you get to play this chromatic scale. Along with this, you have intonation, you have a metronome with the drum beat, and it's a great practice tool and makes that kind of fun to play. I have that in all 12 keys. I've recorded it, and it took forever, but now that it's done, you have that piece in all 12 keys, so literally any 5 notes that are next to each other that you want to work on, you can work on. I have some longer pieces. This one is for low range. This is called The Pursuit of Happiness, and this is a long tune that I wrote, honestly, for the bass line to be the one that you're playing, because it just goes down incrementally and stays in this really nice range of just a few notes. There's a lot of chromatics and whole steps and half steps there to work on. Just a few little notes there with this beautiful melody on top. So, as you're listening to that, you realize that the top part is super soaring and high. How could you ever play that? But the thing is, with this lesson series, it starts out by saying, okay, we're just going to play the bass line to this. It's just a few notes. It's all in the staff. And then, as your range grows and grows and grows, eventually you will be able to play the melody, and then that is the part that you'll be playing along. And so it, I think, does a really good job of just kind of guiding you through with these practice tools, and so you're getting more and more familiar with these songs as you go, and then all of a sudden, when your range is getting to the point where you're practicing, like, in that case, the high F, now the only note that is out of your comfort zone is that high F, and that's the one that you're working on with playing that melody. So that's the concept. I'm really proud of that piece. That one's in all 12 keys as well, so working going down each one a half step, and you get to just kind of work on that lower range. This one's really fun. This will be the last one that I play for you. This is called El Dorado. Right? Cool. So there are 14 pieces that you can play along with, and again, 3 of them are in all 12 keys, so almost 50 new recordings that you get to play along with and move up. This is not something that you're going to want to have the goal be like, I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to level up, level up, level up, level up, because I'm not at level 15. You know, I can play all of the notes that are there, but they're not comfortable for me. And the point of this is to get all of these notes that you're playing in your comfort range. And what that takes is playing it for a really long time. So this is for you to jump in and see where you are right now and be very honest and kind of humble with yourself about where you are in the progression of this range building. And then add the pieces that are within that level to your daily routine until they're kind of no-brainers and really easy to play, and then you move on. And that might take, a month. It might take a couple of years for some of these. That's totally okay, and you should keep that in mind when you're doing this one. The future courses, like I'm working on one on scale and arpeggio studies. That's something that you should be able to, be working at every day and seeing major progress every day. This one, you're going to have to sit with because you're building muscles in your face and you're working out how to actually make your face do certain things, and that takes time. So they're really fun to play, I think, and it makes that kind of monotonous practice a little bit more fun. So that's the idea. Like I said, I was hoping to have it out today, but I don't want to rush through it. So if you want to be notified when it actually does come out this week, I'll be posting them in 5-level chunks. So I'll finish the first 5 probably Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll see about the intermediate and the advanced chunks after that. So go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter and hit the bell notification on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you will be notified when it is released. If you would be so kind, comment below with what else you would like to see. I have the full list from the live stream that I'm working through, but it's, there's some different people who will see this that weren't on the live stream. So if you have some sort of technique or thing or piece of music that you want to learn and want my help with, this is the place to do it. Just comment with what you want to see. So yeah, I hope you're excited about this. I certainly have been. I've been working kind of nonstop on this for a few months, and I'm ready to get it out to you guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks to the Patreon donors for allowing me to dedicate 4 or 5 days to this every week alongside all of my other work. I definitely couldn't have done that without them. Make sure to follow me on all the social media stuff, and check out my album Half Man Half Machine if you want to check out some of my original music, and if you want to know what that sounds like, it sounds a little something like